Hey YouTube, your girl is back. Your girl is back with another video. Okay, so today I am using my new webcam that I got, you guys. I don't know where to look. I guess I'll look right here. And so I'm just testing this out, but I wanted to go live to get into some things, honey. Get into some things, child. But yes, I'm very excited, you guys. Before I start talking about honeybees lives that happened at the end of last week, I do want to say that I'm trying to get it more. I'm trying to get it together for you guys, honey. I'm trying to give the girls some official, like some. I'm trying to give y'all some looks here, okay? So I went onto Amazon, you guys, and I ordered me a webcam so that way I can start to go live from my actual computer. And that way I don't have to tie up my phone when I'm live, put my phone on do not disturb. And I just want to, kind of start playing around with, doing different type of videos instead of just going live all the time, you know, just playing around with the technology side of YouTube, okay? Period. But for those of you all who are watching, thank you all for joining. Like I said, oh, thank you, first baby mama. Thank you. Thank you so much. um but yeah, so I for those of you all who are joining, like I said, I'm just trying to give y'all something different. Okay, they say you looking cute. Oh, thank you, Maroon and Blacko. Thank you, CC's life. Hey, thank you for joining. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you all. All righty, so I'm gonna give some people some time to get on in. Honey, thank you all for supporting. I love seeing you all pop up on every video. Hey, Bliss Hiley, how you doing? How you doing? Yes, honey. So I don't learn something new. You know your girl is a dinosaur, honey. I don't really know about all this technology stuff, honey. But I done got me a webcam, and we is about to get into some things, honey. Thank you, Bliss Holly. Thank y'all for joining and sticking with me, honey. Okay. But yes, you guys, as you all know, honey, it done went down. It done went down. And usually I say, oh, the girls are fighting, the girls are fighting, but the girls don't even fight no more, honey. The girls done laid it all out. And I will say, and like I said, y'all, forgive me if my eyes are everywhere, but I'm going to try to look at the camera. But I will say that I am so glad that Keesha finally went live and kind of gave us her perspective out of her own mouth. Okay, I'm glad. So we're gonna get into it, honey, and we're gonna dissect and we're gonna talk about these things. Like I said, when we talk about the Keesha Kaylee topic, it gets very sensitive, honey. It gets very testy. It gets very touchy. So, I'm just coming from someone who is viewing this. I'm not here to judge any of these ladies. I'm going to go ahead and give this disclaimer, honey. I'm not here to judge anybody. I am not here to, be Team Keesha or be Team Ashli. I'm just here to just have a realistic conversation so that we can talk about it. And hopefully these ladies are able to get some resolve because at the end of the day, they share the same baby daddy. They're going to have to be around each other for a very long time. So we're going to just have a healthy conversation today and give our perspective on what happened last week. Hey, D, how you doing, girl? Hey. Yes, D, honey. It got real last week. So let's get into it. So as you all know, last week I talked about, Keisha and Ashley, they had a kind of Instagram back and forth over Ashley, allowing August to go over and, with his dad, and Keisha having glimpses of him let me put my phone on silent, my bad. Keisha having a little bit of him in her vlogs. Now from going back and watching, and going back and looking at Keisha's vlogs myself, because I was like, what is everybody talking about? She didn't really have the camera all up in August's face, but still, if Ashley's, request was to not have her son film, then of course it was going to bring some issues if August was in Keisha's vlog. So that was the issue last week. And last week we pretty much had a conversation about how realistic is it to ask someone who has been a daily vlogger before you came into her life, before you all start sharing the same baby daddy, how realistic is it to ask that of her? Was it right? Was it wrong? And how can Ashley and Keisha come to some common ground so that way this co-parenting situation can be more healthy? So that was the conversation that we were having last week. So let's get into the comments here. All right. Golden said, I am extremely happy Keesha spoke up. She's been quiet for so long while the hate train made money dragging her name. That's right, honey. I'm happy for her as well. And I'm going to get into it. Let's see here. Mariah says, "Hey, beautiful. Hey, Mariah. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining." So yes, and I'm gonna say this, and like I said, I try to give fair commentary that is not too much. It's not too biased. But I've always said from the beginning of time, my perspective leans more towards the side of Keesha, because I do understand how it feels to have people just hate you just for being you. You know what I'm saying? Flaws and all. I was someone that growing up, people just hated on me for everything I did, because, I was someone that was highly educated and I still had the same daily problems that everybody else have. And so I get where Keesha comes from a lot of times. I don't agree with everything Keesha did, so I'm gonna just say that real quick because we're gonna get into that as well. But my perspective is always leaned towards her side more, but I can still see where Ashli is coming from as well. So I like to call my commentary fair, but if it comes across as biased, it just is what it is. Like I said, I'm not here to drag either one of the ladies because I do feel for both of them in this situation. And so we're gonna get into it. Let's see. First baby mama said no. If you go to work and have the not if you go to work and have the baby for 5 days. Jeremy D says Jeremy asked Keesha to put him in the vlog. I think people misunderstood that. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that as well. Keesha was hesitant and she told Jerry to make sure it was okay. Yes, that's what we learned from them going live. So let's get into it. So Keisha and Ashli get into this Instagram back and forth, right? Ashley's kind of like, Keisha's playing in my face, and I'm finna go live to air everything out, right? And Keisha claps back and she's like, no, ma'am. I'm sick of this. I'm tired of being quiet. I'm tired of sitting back. Girl, I'm gonna go live as well. If you want to take it there, we're gonna take it there. We're gonna have the conversation. And I was like, yes, honey, because this is the thing. I've always liked Keesha. The only reason why I feel like a lot of people, including myself, had a hard time continuing to support Keesha or following her story is because a lot of time Keesha would back away from confrontation. She would not be as transparent as we felt like she needed to be. And so it is hard watching someone have a whole love triangle, have a whole, boyfriend cheating on them, all this, that, and the third. It's hard watching someone have all of that going on and they're kind of getting in front of the camera and trying to be brand friendly and kind of trying to block it out. So that made all of us, kind of be hesitant to continue to support Keesha because we really wanted her to speak up from the beginning. That is my only issue I've ever had with Keesha, is that I wanted her to be transparent. The viewers, we just wanted her to look, girl, speak up and just tell her for what it is, right? And so seeing her actually speak out directly to Ashli, not going through anyone else, not having any behind of the scenes conversation, seeing her come on her own platform and vent out how she truly feels really, really was a breath of fresh air, because I think that's all that we've been wanting for Keesha in the beginning. That's all we've been wanting. We've wanted her to be a big girl, stand on your 10 toes, feel how you feel, and come and let it come out your own mouth and spill your own tea. And so now that she's actually have done that, I'm good. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I have no more criticism for her because that's all that everyone was really wanting from her. Golden says, the father has rights just like the mother. That's just an excuse for the hate train used to bring down Keesha. Right. And so for once, we see Keesha come to the forefront and be like, look, I'm just going to speak on it, and that's that. So first, Ashli goes live. Ashli goes live onto Paris's platform. Everybody knows Paris. She's a reactor. She does content on Keesha. Keesha and Paris have a outstanding, a feud going because Paris's content, I'm gonna be very honest, has been very. Paris goes there on Keesha. She goes in on Keesha. Paris has actually joined one of my lives that I did about Keesha, and she expressed, her stance on Keesha's, disdain or dislike for her. Paris was not happy with my live because she felt like I was more on the side of Keesha. But I don't have any beef with Paris, right? I just don't agree with how harsh her commentary was in the beginning. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So Ashli comes on to Paris's live, and she begins to explain to everyone why she made the decision to send August with his father and where the conflict came. Let's see here. Let me get into some comments before I continue on. Gunnar Anderson says, Ashli is a woman scorned, and she is putting all of her misplaced, bitter feelings ahead of what's best for her son. Yes, I felt that way as well. First baby mama, how you make a video a night before saying that not his day and talk about his woman, then take your baby uh the next night. First lady mama says Paris goes too far. Yes, I definitely feel like Paris goes too far. Like I said, I don't have any personal beef with Paris, but the minute that I saw that Ashli was going live on Paris's platform, I was like, oh Lord, this is gonna be difficult to digest. Because as we all know, honey, on that platform over there, it gets real. And like I said, everyone is entitled to their opinion. So I don't have no personal beef with Paris. I'm not telling her what to do on her channel, but it's very hard to get into a conversation and have, this dialogue with each other about what we view on YouTube and, our differences of opinion when you have a group of people who are very hateful and who don't want to hear anything positive at all. So like I said, Paris started, I mean, not Paris, Ashli went on to Paris's live. She went live first, and she pretty much started off by explaining to us why she chose to allow August to go with his father. Now, I'm going to just say this, Ashli, and this is my words of encouragement to you as a woman. You don't owe anybody an explanation about what you choose to do with your child. So she lost me when she did that. You don't have to explain to anyone your decisions. You are an adult. That is your child. That is your child's father. And you don't have to tell nobody why you chose Jeremy as the babysitter for that day. All right. Mink says Ashley forgot to mention she went live the day before she dropped August off. Yeah. And I'm going to get into that as well, what Keesha was saying. Madison River says they gave her nanny money. That's why she was mad. Keesha posted him on the blog because they seen it didn't go to the nanny. Oh, I didn't know that. And first baby mama says that's so true. Yeah, so that's how I knew that the live with Ashli in Paris. I knew that people were going to kind of start to see the situation for what it is. Because I just, this is the thing. I understand that when we were first introduced to Ashli, we kind of felt for her because she was painted out to be, and I'm not going to say that Keesha did this intentionally, but we wanted to know more of Ashli's story because we pretty much read the book. We pretty much were like, as viewers, we was like, no, it's more to this story, Keesha. We love you, girl, but it's more to this story. And so a lot of people felt for Ashli, and we empathized with her when she first came to the platform because everybody has their moments. Everybody done slipped up and messed with somebody they weren't supposed to mess with. We understand that, and so we were interested to hear her story and how she came into this situation with Jeremy. However, I truly feel that the supporters and the people that the supporters of the hate train and the people that hate Keesha used everyone's like for Ashli, and they used the fact that people were empathizing with Ashli, and they turned that into fuel to kind of keep their hate train going for Keesha. The people who hate Keesha, they figure that if they can use Ashli in her story and in her the favor that she has for the public opinion, if they can use her and continue to stay on her good side and coerce her to continue this beef, then they will have an excuse to continue to spew their hate for Keesha. Because honestly, why was anyone going to actually confronting her about that? If she chose to let the person who she fathered the child with watch the child, why would anyone in their right mind question that? Why? So I kind of felt for Ashli because it's kind of like, girl, are you really sitting up here explaining to a bunch of strangers why you chose to let your child's father babysit the child? You don't owe these people anything. Anything. All right, let's get into some comments. All right. Casey Love says no. But says, I will never empathize with any side chick who don't know their role and is petty and bitter. Okay. Kunkoop says Ashley needs a sitter. She had burned her bridges with everyone because she has a pattern of dropping off and leaving him for days on end. First baby mama says they found out about the baby from Shanita. Madison says, I don't want, okay, Madison. Madison is standing on what she's saying, okay? Um, KC says, disagree. The hate train used Ashley to get Keesha, period. First baby mama says to Glenna that is so true. And Glenna Anna says Jeremy wasn't good enough to see his son regularly, but when she was stuck in at her birthday turn up was more important to her. She used it to babysit. Yeah, and I just feel like people use Ashley. I mean, this is the thing. Keesha has been on this platform for a very long time. And as someone who has been on this platform for a long time, she's going to develop a fan base or she's going to develop people who don't particularly care for her. And I just wish people who don't like Keesha would just say they don't like Keesha instead of using this situation right here to kind of, to as a scapegoat. For example, I watch a guy named Armand Wiggins. He is hilarious. He is another, like, he's a bigger, like, reaction channel. So he does, like, celebrity hip hop gossip and stuff. But he doesn't like Lizzo, right? And Lizzo ain't did nothing to him. He doesn't know her person, but he just don't like her. And he will tell you in a minute, I just don't like Lizzo, y'all. I don't know what it is. It's just how she carry herself. It's how she carry on. I just don't like her. And he leaves it at that. He does not use situations that Lizzo has been in. He does not use anything that she has done in the media as an excuse. He just simply says, I don't like her because I don't like her, right? And like I said, in this situation, I feel like people, and what really put a bad taste in my mouth about the situation is people use a regular situation where two women were feuding over a guy, because that's really what it was. They use that to fuel a hate bullying train for another person when y'all could have just did this way before and just said you don't like Keesha and I'm making this content about her because I don't like her. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I just don't like her platform. I don't like how she moves. Just say that. I respect people more who would just be honest about that. But this situation right here with her, Ashli, that was not a situation to start a hate train for this girl. I don't care what anyone says. Hey, ATL Lock Diva. Let's see. All right. Mink says that's what happens when you build your platform off of hate. Madison River says there's Ashley on support. She didn't want to get on their bad side, which is weak. You don't know these people in real life. Your child is more important. Exactly. Casey Love says exactly. Mink says she came to YouTube with the troll support. Now they trolling her. Yeah. And that was sad to me because it's like, why are you on here explaining to these people? You don't owe them nothing, girl. These people are just people on the internet. Hey, Cupcake. Glenna says they only popped her up as a scapegoat a few more. Yeah, they really used her as a scapegoat to hate Keesha. I mean, just build your platform and just say, hey, this is the Keesha Kaylee hate train. We just don't like Keesha. But to use this situation to make it seem like she's done something so terribly wrong, like, no. And Madison says one thing is about them table, they will turn. Now look, that is true. That is true. Sasha says, I don't think anybody's winning from this situation. Jeremy did them both wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that as well. I'm gonna get into that. I feel it is skating only with two women. I feel he is skating by only while two women are going at it over what he calls. Correct. First baby mama says when they can mind their own business. And Meek says no honor amongst thieves. Yeah. So Ashley starts off and she starts to explain to us her thought process behind, the baby going over with, Keesha and Jeremy. She explained that there's something going on in her apartment, that, there's water damage. She has a dishwasher that's acting up and she did not want August, in all of that. And so that's when she initially reached out to Mama Pastel. Mama Pastel says she has her own things going on right now. And so she cannot watch the baby. And so that's how she ended up having to call Jeremy. And she went on to say, she was very distraught about it. She cried and she cried. And I'm just like, listen, girl. Now, I don't know Ashley in her personal life. And I do understand as a mom, if you have a leak in your apartment, you don't want your 1-year-old baby in that, right? So, if that was truly what was going on, I do understand why she would want to kind of, call someone to help her out with August, because she does not want him in those conditions, right? But do I really think that was the reason why she wanted to, why she needed a babysitter? No, actually, it's okay if you just needed a babysitter because it was your birthday weekend. That is totally fine. I mean, moms, we do this all the time. When my birthday is coming up or when I have something going on, it's nothing wrong with saying, look, this is the person who I had a child with. This is his child. And I call him to ask for a babysitter. I don't owe y'all nothing. So pretty much she gave that explanation, and then she went into where she had an issue. Um, she she basically told us that the expectation when August went over there was for any time that Jeremy was to leave the household, he was to take August to Mama Pastel. And she also said, I will give her this. She said that she understands that Keesha is around. She understands that him and her and Jeremy are together. But the expectation is for if Jeremy is to leave the home, is for him to take the baby to his mom. And so, let's see here. Let's get into some comments, and then we're gonna keep going and keep diving into this situation. Mink says Jeremy ain't skating though he has a child he can't see too. Madison said if it wasn't this situation, they would have found another one. They just hate Keesha. That's it. That's all. It's weird. Yeah, it's very weird. Madison says I do think the issue has gone past Jeremy. Yeah, it's deeper. Dee says let's make it clear. Jeremy was dead wrong, but to play with the child is dead wrong. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Everyone in this situation could have made better decisions. I'm not saying that one party is more wrong than the other. What I'm saying is, as far as people who fuel this hate train against Keesha, instead of hating Keesha, let's look at the bigger picture here, because all of these adults in this situation have done some things that are questionable or not particularly what we should have done traditionally. So all of them could afford it to move in a better way. Dee says, let's make it clear Jeremy was dead is wrong, but to play with a child is wrong. Okay. I'm sorry, the comments are going. Sasha says Jeremy caused all of this. Y'all can't tell women to act out of emotion. That is a good point, Sasha. Right. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. The comments. So I may not be able to read every one, but I'm gonna read them as I see them. Golden says she could have uploaded on her channel, gotten paid. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. And that's another double standard that I saw in this situation. Everyone, like I said, as viewers, we all wanted Keesha to stand on her own 2 feet and just be a big girl and come forward and spill her own tea, right? And so the biggest criticism of Keesha in the beginning was her using other people to tell her story. But now no one has a problem with Ashli getting help to tell her story, And it's kind of like, let's just be fair here. If Keesha wants to go to her friends or anyone who she was associated with and she wants them to speak up on her behalf, if we're going to call her out for that, then let's look at Ashli sideways if she continues to go onto Paris's platform. Because I'll be honest, Ashli has a big enough platform now where she doesn't need Paris. She does not need Paris to amen her. She does not need Paris to back her up. She has a large enough platform and plenty of support to where she could have done this on her own platform. The same thing I said about Keesha in the beginning. My advice to Keesha has always been, spill your own tea. All I ever wanted for Keesha to do was come onto your platform and speak honestly about how you feel out of your own mouth, because everyone's biggest thing is why they hate Keesha is, well, she does so much behind the scenes. She does so much behind the scenes. Okay, well, if that's what you all are saying, if you all are tired of her doing things behind the scenes, if you all are tired of her going to other people to help her out, then when someone else comes on the platform and they're getting others to help them speak, then we have to give them that same energy or don't give the energy at all. So going back to the live with Ashli, she pretty much said that was the expectation. She wanted Jeremy to take the baby to Mama Pastel every time he had to leave, and her child was not to be left alone with Keesha. Now, this is what I'm going to say about that. I am human, right? So I understand it can be very, very nerve-wracking leaving your child with a person who you don't like or who you have a feud with, right? And so hey Jim Marie, thank you all for joining. Yeah, and so it is, it can be very nerve-wracking. So I'm not going to act like I don't understand where Ashli is coming from when she is a little bit of apprehensive about leaving her child with Keesha, because her and Keesha are feuding. Her and Keesha are not, they don't like each other. And let's just call a spade a spade. So I'm not going to pretend like I don't understand where Ashli is coming from. However, we have to be realistic in this situation. And Ashli knew who Keesha was before she decided to lay down with Jeremy. And so at the end of the day, well, I'm not, let me rephrase it. I don't know the order of events, right? But at some point, she knew what Jeremy had going on with Keesha. She knew there was a public platform where him and Keesha had to come be a family, regardless of what was going on behind the scenes, regardless of the dynamics of their relationship. She knew that if she continued to be sexually involved with this man, that there could be some consequences that come behind it. There could be a possibility of pregnancy. Any of us who have sexual relations, we know what the outcome could be, right? Regardless of whether we're using protection or whatever, we know that if you on an ongoing basis have sexual relations with someone, then one day this person could be your baby daddy. Okay. And so, with that being said, we have to stop coddling her and acting as if she is, someone forced her into the situation, because she willingly had a baby with Jeremy. So, while I understand why she would not want her child to be Keisha, I don't understand how you expect to dictate the entire situation that goes on when your child is not around you. You have to, at some point, trust the father and set realistic boundaries here. And if you asked the mama Pastel, could she watch the baby, and she told you she couldn't for whatever reason, then how was she going to be able to watch the baby every time Jeremy left, when you left him there with Jeremy for the weekend or however long it was? So that to me was not a realistic expectation. There should have been a deeper conversation had. I would say, hey Jeremy, me and Keisha don't like each other. I don't get up on her, she don't get up on me. I know she gonna be around, I know she helping you out, but can you limit some of your plans this week, or can you try to maneuver around so that Keisha doesn't have him for an extended period of time? Because me and her don't like each other, and I don't want her feeling like she's doing something extra for my child. I don't want to be a burden on her. So that would have been realistic. But to just say, hey, every time you leave the house, take him to your mama. No, that's not how it works, because if the mama could watch him just at a drop of a dime, she would have watched him from the beginning. All right, so let's get into some comments. And like I said, I'm just reading them as they come in, so I'm sorry if I miss some. All right. Tracy's take say put the blame where it belongs. Lena T says y'all are trolls. Stop calling people who speak the truth trolls. Okay. Winter and Wade's World said, at this point, Jeremy have no rights to that child. Let's be real. This has been going on a year. If he cared, he would have been in court, period. And Keisha made a point. Like I said, I'm going to get into Keisha's live and the points that she made. And she did say something about that. She said something about an agreement being made before she continues to help with the child. Amanda says, exactly, who wants their child in and out in cool weather to keep getting dropped out 35 minutes? Then complain about a cold. Golden says, Winter, you're not making sense. In real life, what judge will say the biological father has no rights? Right. D says she didn't even say that. Lena says, I hope she keeps her son away until they get it together. Now, I'm going to disagree with that one. I don't hope that she keeps her child away, because like I said, that little boy needs his father. So I'm not going to ever encourage her to keep her child away. I'm just going to encourage all of them as adults to get it together and figure out something that works and keep trying until they figure it out, and be realistic about it. We can't, and that's the problem in the situation. Everyone is championing for Ashli to snatch her baby away from the situation, as if that's going to make it any better. When at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to help this situation is if they come together as adults and they figure out a realistic game plan. Keeping a child away from their father is not going to do anything except for create more division, create more trauma, create more issues for him growing up as a young Black boy. So I never would say keep your child away. I would say be an adult the same way you were an adult when everyone was laying down and making babies and doing whatever. The same way you all figured out how to maneuver and do that. Figure out how to make the situation work so there could be some peace. That's what I would say. Right. And so basically, pretty much that was all she said in the live. She said that's where her disdain came from. That's why she got upset. Because she was minding her business and she's having people send her things and people are letting her know that her child is over with Keesha. And so that's when she became outraged because she had made it clear to Jeremy she thought they had an understanding of how things were supposed to go. And so when the people on the internet began to question her and tell her about her child being over at Keisha's, it frustrated her, and that's how we came to her being upset and feeling like Keisha was planning on her face. So that was pretty much the summary of Ashli on Paris's live. um she also mentioned that she kind of threw a jab, and in my opinion, and like I said, she could have just been mentioning that he was sick. She also pretty much expressed that now August is sick, and she pretty much was just expressing that she was pretty much expressing that she was just upset with how the whole situation went. And I'm gonna give my opinion on that now. Before I move on to my perspective on Keisha's live and then my general perspective of how this situation could be summed up, one thing, and I'm gonna look at the comments one time. Madison River says, keep him away. This shows what the trolls care more about, the drama than the health. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We have to understand. We are just on the internet. We don't know these people. So at the end of the day, to tell someone who you don't know, you're not going to watch their baby. You're not going to be the person they call for childcare. You're not going to be there for them physically when it comes to their child. To tell someone to keep their child away from the father, it's kind of like, no, we need to figure out a better option. Instead of encouraging people to be divided and encouraging people to separate and encouraging people to keep their children away, encourage people to grow up and lay in the beds they made. And that goes for Keesha, Jeremy, and Ashli. All of you all put yourself in a situation where you're dealing with something that's less than favorable, right? Jeremy, you was out here cheating. Keesha, you chose to say. Ashli, you chose to be with the man who had a situation going on. So now all of you all have to be adults and figure it out for the children and figure out what's best. But to say keep him away, I would never say that. All righty. Madison says, when he gets older and have memories with his father, where will the trolls be? Exactly. Like saying keep him away from his daddy. This boy has to grow up in America at that. Okay, so I would never say keep him away from his daddy. I would tell I wouldn't say that. And I'm gonna give my thoughts on Jeremy and what he should do in a minute as well. But yeah, that's just not good advice. That's not good advice. First baby mama says, for 5 days, my house, my rules. Keisha took care of that baby. Y'all need to stop being so messy. Yeah, she did. She did take care of him, and that was, she didn't have to, and we have to think about that. All righty, so let's move into my final thoughts on the live with Ashli and Paris, and then I'll get into Keisha's live. Now, my final thoughts on the live. One thing I did notice, and like I said, and this is for the people who love to hate Keisha, and this is for the people who feel like it's so necessary to have a hate train. And here's why I'm gonna tell you why it's not. If you all notice, at some part in the live, Paris started to go in on Jeremy. She started to be like, "Girl, Jeremy ain't got nothing." Why? Because they were, someone made it. I don't know how that conversation came up, but she pretty much started to go in on Jeremy. She started to say he ain't got nothing. She started pretty much say that Jeremy is a bomb, right? And one thing I noticed when she said that, Ashli was silent. Ashli didn't have anything to say. Ashli was like, well, I don't know what he got. All I'm going to tell you is what happened with this co-parenting situation this weekend. And I know that's a small part of the live, and you all are probably like, okay, where are you going with this? But do you see how as soon as we didn't see Ashli feed into the bashing of Jeremy, it just stopped, and everyone on that chat kind of changed the tone of the narrative, and they kind of continued to just talk about something else. No one wanted to sit up there and bash Jeremy. No one was here for it, not even Ashli. And everyone quickly changed the narrative, right? But when it's time to bash Keesha, when it's time to call Keesha out, when it's time to talk about her looks, when it's time to talk about her children, when it's time to talk about her household, when it's time to talk about anything when it comes to Keesha, we just got to keep going. But you see how quick No one wanted to talk about Jeremy. No one wanted to dog Jeremy out. Nobody wanted to touch on that. As soon as they saw that Ashli was uncomfortable with it, everyone kind of shut up, right? But we wanted to continue to go on and on and on about Keesha. And that was very confusing to me because ding, 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 we're all here because Jeremy cheated. you know? And so for the life of me, I don't understand how we can sit on here and we can watch 30, 40, 50 lives of Keesha being called a bitch, a hoe, a bad mom, but then and everyone can champion for that. Even Ashli, she's here for. If we gonna tap Keesha up, she here for that, right? And this is no shade, Ashli. I'm just saying, she was ready to go in on Keesha. But when we start talking about your baby daddy, the person who created all this mess, it's well, I don't know about that. Not, you know what I'm saying? So that's, you see how I say there's a double standard. You see how we're so quick to tear down a black woman, but the person who created the situation, the man in the situation, who probably has the power to kind of change the narrative a little bit. You see how no one wants to touch on that. So that's, as black women, we have to stop doing that. We have to stop being so ready to go at each other next. When we are into it over a man, let's hold the man accountable. Let's put the man under the fire. Let's put the pressure on him. Because like I said, going after Keesha and trying to assassinate her character is not going to help the co-parenting situation. So that to me was very odd. That was very odd to me. And so my overall opinion on the live that Ashli did with Paris is, Ashli could have done that on her own platform. First of all, the same thing I would have said about Keesha if she would have came live on anybody else's platform. Ashli could have done that on her own platform. And Ashli, don't let these trolls and don't let people who hate Keesha trick you out of a wonderful relationship that your child can have with his dad. It's possible. Jeremy has to do more on his end as well. We're going to get into that. But it's definitely possible that you all can turn the situation around, but you have got to let the internet go. You got to. You cannot let the internet dictate how you're going to let your son interact with his father. All right, so before we move into Keesha's live, let's look at some comments. He does have the power to change. That's why Ashli's married. Jerry put his foot down. Okay. Golden says, Big K is the cloud. Yeah, I like the way she said that, and I ain't going to lie. Okay, let me read up a little bit. Let's see. Cupcake says, Ashli said, I don't know if he is homeless. That's still my son's father. And Paris didn't say nothing. Matter of fact, Paris tried to explain. I'm going to try to be respectful to Paris. Paris tried to explain herself after she made the comment. Right. And Jasmine said, yeah, right. It's crickets for him, but smoke for Keesha. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, we sitting up here and we talk about Keesha all the time as if Keesha is the one who cheated. Keesha is not the one who cheated. Keesha is not the one who laid down. Keesha is not the one that was lying to two women. Keesha is not the one who created this mess. But yet we can't we got to keep talking about her. But then when it's time to talk about Jerry, but when Ashley say, no, I don't know about that. That's my baby dad. I don't know if he's homeless or not. Oh, okay. No. If you're going to go in, go in. If you're not going to go in, then don't. Cammy Bird said, Jim Marie said, I'm enjoying the unbiased and fair commentary. Thank you, Nye. Thank you, Jim. Cammy said, well, this was even before the cheating scandal. I think the book opened up a space for false narrative. I so believe at one point they were probably on one page, but social media got in the head. Yeah, and that's why I said, don't get me wrong, you guys. I did not agree with the book either. So I'm not totally, just saying that Keisha's innocent. I felt like the book did put a damper on the situation because from reading the book, I will agree with Keesha. Ashli was not directly called a one-night stand in the book, but I felt like Keesha tried to dress up her man cheating on her, right? And that's the worst thing that you can do. If you're going to, like my grandma always say, if you're going to tell it all and tell it right. But don't come on the internet trying to make it look pretty. It is what it is. It wasn't a pretty situation. Your man cheated on you and he had a baby outside of the relationship. And that's just what it was. And I feel like Keesha, because she's so brand conscious and she wants to make sure that she's putting up a good image, I felt like she tried to dress that situation up. However, with that being said, and so that did start the false narrative. However, That could have easily been cleared up if Ashley would have just came, told her side about who she was, and left it at that. And that could have put an end to all that. The reason why the hate train started is because people took the conversation from the love triangle that we all were interested in to a personal attack on Keesha and her children and her mom and how her parenting is and how her kids look and how her, you know what I'm saying? Like, people took this one situation and they started dragging Keesha for all the things they've been wanting to drag her for anyway. And so that's where the problem started. So I'm not saying Keesha is innocent. This book definitely did pop off some negativity, but it didn't have to go as far as it went. The people who hate Keesha took this one isolated situation that was just a simple disagreement and love triangle between two women and one man, and they turned that into a hate train and let's use the situation to attack Keesha. All right, let's see here. So let's move on to let's see let's see who else is. I'm trying to get into some comments before I move on. So Paris her lives every day says I feel it's like Ashley feeds off the negativity. And I will say this about Ashley. I don't think, because like I said, I don't have anything against Ashley. So I'm not gonna go too in on her, you know what I'm saying? But what I will say is I think that Ashley got caught up in the fact that so many people support her and she's trying to please the public. I feel like she does not want people to turn on her like they turned on Keesha. I feel like she doesn't want that heat because at the end of the day, honestly, she was trying to stay low key. I will give her that. I feel like she never wanted to speak out. I feel like she never wanted to come to the internet with this. I feel like, her friend Hazel, and Hazel went live too, and we're going to talk about that at the end of this live. But I feel like Hazel kind of hyped her up to kind of, come out and defend herself. And so by doing that, she gained this fan base and these people who really supported her. And I feel like she has the pressure of trying to please them by continuing the Keesha is a bad person, let's hate Keesha train, right? So she involuntarily joined the hate train to please the people who started to support her because she does not want people to turn on her. But what Ashley has to realize is the internet is an unrealistic place, okay? And you don't want to get too wrapped up in this, especially when you have to be a mother to a child. You cannot let these people dictate what's going to happen with your child. Because at the end of the day, when we close these laptops, when we put these phones down, you are going to have to figure out the consequences of your decisions. And so I feel like, I don't think that she does definitely feed off of the negativity, but I think it's more of her trying to be that fan favorite that's really messing her up. Because I feel like I can see deep down inside of her, I don't think she ever wanted to do any of this. I think that it was all people pressuring her to come forward. Because I think at the end of the day, she knows she was wrong. She knows she was messing with somebody's man. She knows she kind of, this wasn't the move. And I feel like she really deep down inside wants to move forward. But of course, she's dealing with her personal feelings of feeling played. Because, I feel like, Jeremy they did have some type of connection. I feel like she feels played. I do feel like she's a little bitter. And I feel like she's just trying to balance, trying to please the public, but also trying to be a parent. And it's not working out in her favor. Glenna Anderson says, people need to move off of Keesha stand with Jeremy. It is what it is. Move on to why Ashley is being spiteful and bitter and deal with Jeremy directly and not the internet attacking Keesha. Correct. Casey Love says, I don't agree. She had to take control as others brought the situation. The internet is her life. She can address it, how much info she can address it, and how much info she chooses to say at the time is her prerogative. Be real. Well, no, I definitely do feel like she definitely had to come speak her piece because of the book. So I'm not against her coming to the internet, but I feel like, I don't see why she's explaining to a whole bunch of people her babysitting arrangements because that's nobody's business. Like, girl, that's your baby daddy. Don't feel bad about letting him watch his child. Who cares what the internet says? They're not gonna watch your child. They're not about to come fly from wherever they are and come with your baby. So you don't owe us that. You don't owe anybody an explanation for why you do what you do. Period. So let's move on to Keesha's live. So I think that Keesha going live and stating what, and like I said, she pretty much restated what we've heard her state over the phone in the recorded conversations that she's had with Paris and Hazel and things of that nature. So she did not really come tell us anything new, but I will say it was a breath of fresh air seeing Keesha just speak on it directly and openly. Because, like I said, as someone who has always supported Keesha and someone who's been a subscriber to her channel, when she got with Jeremy and all this, all of this infidelity and, people were, just her being so consumed in him and her kind of letting him, tarnish the brand that she had worked so hard to build. That was hard to watch. I ain't gonna lie, it was hard to watch. And that's what turned everybody kind of off of her. And that's where people pretty much, had started to, have a lot of opinions for her. Because, when you see a black girl magic, Spelman graduate, trying to come out here, trying to make some things shake, when you see someone who's so at the top, who's so close to making it. And honestly, she's definitely made a good living for herself. So I'm not going to say she hasn't made it. But when you see a black woman who's thriving, doing her damn thing, when you see her letting her love and her blindness for a man drag her down, it is hard to watch, right? And so I think that from the very beginning, we all just wanted Keesha to wake up and be transparent and just be honest and move forward. And so that's the only fault I feel like she's had in this situation, her lack of transparency and her wanting to be brand friendly and her wanting to be liked and her not wanting to display certain things on her channel never really worked in her favor. But now with her going live, it was a breath of fresh air. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna sound biased, but it is what it is. It was a breath of fresh air seeing her finally stand on her 2 feet and come forward and say what she needed to say out of her own mouth. Whether we agree with all the points that she made in her video, that's another story. But she has finally done what so many people say they hate her for. They say they don't like her because she go behind the scene and she don't own what she say. They say she get people to do her dirty work. They say that she don't know how to speak up for herself and she's sneaky and conniving. But not yesterday, whenever that was, a couple of days ago, she came onto the platform and she pretty much gave us everything that we needed, and when it came to how she feels. Now, I will say this, she spoke on her decision to still vlog while August was around. She said that, she did her best. She said she did her best to keep him off of the vlogs. She said that he was very much, she was embracing him the entire time. She said that he was all over her and he was, she was, making sure that he felt included. And so she said she did try to edit him out as much as possible because she did not want him to feel left out. And she also said that, hey, pretty K Marie, hey, yay! I'm glad you caught the live, girl. But yeah, Gabrielle M says, I have to admit, Keesha's definitely a boss. That girl be getting up and getting her own coins. Yeah, she does get her own coins now. Glenna Anderson says, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. Keesha is a giant in strength. God is blessing her despite the trial and tribulations. Yes. And God's going to bless Ashley too as well. God's going to bless everybody, but Keesha definitely is overcoming this situation very well. But what I will say is, she pretty much told us, like, look, I don't care what y'all say. That's my man. I'm standing beside him. I made a decision to stay in this situation. I made a promise that if I stay in this situation, I'm going to be supportive of this situation. I'm going to be a team player, and I'm going to care for that baby. I'm going to make sure he feels loved. I'm going to make sure he doesn't feel left out. And so, yes, there were glimpses of him in my live here and there, but for the most part, I got permission from his father to still vlog while he was around. And Jeremy is still his father. And so, even though I was apprehensive about it, even though I did not want to do it because I knew the backlash it would have brought, I still have to respect the opinion of his father and what his father wants. And if his father does not want his child to feel left out when he's over here, that's what I'm rolling with. And, she spoke on her relationship with Ashley. She just pretty much said, girl, when it comes to her and Ashley, girl, you smiled in my face, you hugged me, you made it seem like we was moving forward, and then you continue to mess around with my man, and that just is what it is. So I'm sorry, guys, I'm looking at the comments here. Lisa S says, I wouldn't trust my child around Keesha. Keisha's evil. Okay. Jeremy's get his own place. I don't think she's evil. Cammy Bird says, sidebar, I just can't believe it was a paid sponsorship. But yeah, so Keisha pretty much, she went live and she pretty much gave us the background on how her and Ashley got back to this place. She talked about how, she would, Ashley would be FaceTiming Jeremy with her shirt off. How Ashley would, was over in the mom's house, laying in the bed, that she just got out of, and Ashley was kind of making it known that she was over there. So she pretty much was basically telling us that Ashley was also doing things behind the scenes that weren't appropriate. And so that's what led to her further disdain for Ashley after a conversation had been had. But the whole situation started because of her filming the baby. And pretty much she's saying this: I had the father's permission. When the child is in my care, I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure that the child does not feel left out. And I'm standing on that. Point blank, period. I'm not leaving my relationship. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to be a team player. And I mean, that's pretty much what she said, pretty much. And I'm going to say this. Like I said, I am proud of Keesha for finally standing on her own 2 feet and speaking up and spilling her own tea. Because now I feel like the narrative is finally changing. And now I feel like people can kind of openly speak to both sides now, because now people can kind of see that, they've heard it from the horse's mouth how she feels. They've heard how Ashley feels. And so now people can kind of have a more realistic conversation after that live. It really opened our eyes to how Keesha truly feels. Because at first, I will say, when the drama first popped off last year, Keesha was trying to be like, I'm sorry, I apologize, this is not who I am. She wasn't being transparent, right? But now she pretty much laid it all out about how she feels and why she feels that way about Ashley. Last year, she wasn't giving that. She was giving very much, I just want the best for everybody. And this year, she like, look, girl, I want the best for this baby, but I still got some issues with you, but we're going to make this work. I'm just standing on what I said I was going to do. And I appreciate that way more than the goody two shoes. I don't have a problem with nothing, Keesha. I love the real, raw, add a little cuss word here and there. Listen, this is how I feel, whether people like it or not. I like that Keesha more. And so, like I said, it was very refreshing to see. Now, what I will say, because like I said, we have to give, constructive criticism to both sides. It says open opinions over here, but disrespect will get you blocked. Yes, you guys. I have a few moderators. All right. So, listen, we can have an open conversation. I haven't been watching the comments. I'm sorry, I just been talking. But yes, let's keep the conversation respectful, you guys. Don't disrespect each other. This is just difference. This is our opinion. And if you don't agree with, what I'm saying, that's fine. But just keep it respectful, because keep in mind, we don't know these people, guys. This is just an open conversation, okay? This is not our brother, sister, cousin. We don't have to start getting disrespectful with each other. It says it was very refreshing. Lyrical Love Jones says it was very refreshing. And Lyrical Love says, I think she does get points for speaking up for herself as well. That's a lot of people have asked for. Yes, that's all people have asked for. So we're going to give her some kudos, because she's finally done what we wanted her to do, and that is speak up. Speak up, be a woman, spill your own tea, and say what you have to say. Now, she also made a very good point, because I was going to give her this opinion. I know that you're a daily vlogger, Keesha, and I know that you have a life to live, but we're going to have Jeremy assume some more serious responsibility when it comes to this whole co-parenting situation, because it can't be you figuring everything out. That is too much on you. You have 3 children of your own already. And so Jeremy, even though, and don't get me wrong, you can definitely embrace baby August. You can definitely love on him. But at the end of the day, this is Jeremy's child that he created. And so him and Ashley need to sit down, and they need to come to some type of agreement about how they're going to parent. And then they need to bring it to you, and you all need to all figure it out. But I will say my advice to Keesha, or my constructive criticism to her, would to be, I'm not saying wash your hands with the whole situation. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to assume so much of the responsibility for that situation, because you did not create that situation. And she made a good point. She said, until there's something legal on paper, she's pretty much done with it. And I agree with her on that. Ashli, Jeremy, if you have not signed the birth certificate yet, if you have not went and got your child legitimized yet, or whatever you need to do, I'm not saying take custody from Ashli, because I feel like Ashli, she's a good mom. I'm not, from what I've seen, she's not doing anything terrible in my eyes. So I'm not saying that you should go over there and snatch your child from Ashli. But what I'm saying is, you all need to, if you all can't get it together on your own without involving the courts and the legal system, you all need to go to some type of mediation or get some type of legal agreement in place about this child, because it cannot be this constant back and forth. There needs to be some consistency. And so while I'm proud of Keesha for going live. I'm proud of Keesha for, definitely speaking up for herself. I will say that, Keesha, you have worked hard to build a brand for yourself that has allowed you to be able to give your girls a beautiful lifestyle. You have really, you're really, you're making yourself your own boss, right? And so you don't want to let your love life or your love for this man tarnish that and bring that down. Because I'm telling you, honey, it's a lot of women out here that were on their way to the top. A lot of women, even, in my personal life, just watching my mom grow up. I mean, my mom has had wonderful big old houses, jobs, all type of stuff. And my mom has always been a boss, but I have definitely seen her go and get into relationships that have definitely taken her out the game, and she had to start all over. And Keesha, you don't want that to be your story, okay? So I will say that before this situation with Jeremy's child and baby August, before the situation gets too out of control, and knowing that you're dealing with another woman who is not very fond of you, so there could be a tad bit of bitterness there. You need to, definitely campaign and promote for him to take more responsibility on having something official in place when it comes to the child care and what's going to go on. I don't, like I said, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to throw the whole custody word out there, because sometimes that gets complicated, but there needs to be some type of mediation or some type of a visitation agreement or something. I will say that. Pretty K Marie says, I myself, we have all been there. Yeah, we've all been in some sticky situations, where we've had a relationship that almost took us out the game, honey. I've been there as well. I was in a 6-year relationship. And and during that relationship, I had some good times. I was able to accomplish things, but it really took a lot out of me. It took me, it really, I was not as focused as I could have been during that time because of so much trauma and so many things that were going on inside of the relationship. So my advice would be, to Keesha, I love what you're doing, girl. I love the fact that you're speaking up for yourself, but and I know you love Jeremy, and I know that, you know the relationship that you have with Jeremy. So I'm not gonna judge you for staying with Jeremy. All I'm gonna say is be very careful when it comes to involving yourself in his feud with his baby mama, because it could start to wear on you. Trisha King says Keesha is the clout. Visa me, so I really think Keesha is why Jeremy is trying. Yeah, I mean, Keesha could definitely be his motivation. Like I said, I'm not gonna diss Keesha for staying with Jeremy, because sometimes, I don't have the strength to do that, right? But I ain't got the strength or the patience for it. But sometimes, it does take a woman, really being supportive and standing by their man for things to change, So I'm just not that type of girl. But there are some women who have encouraged their men to be better men for their other children they've had outside the relationship. So I think that Keesha's support, her being there, has definitely, been a positive thing. But I think that Jeremy should take more control of the situation, because this is what he created. D says, who the hell wants to be a body girl? D always come through with something funny, okay? And ain't nothing wrong with being a body girl, okay? But I think what D is trying to say is, a lot of people say that Keesha is just jealous of Ashli, and I don't think that she's jealous of Ashli. I think they just got into it over a man, y'all. They just got into it over a man. And you know how that be. It don't have to be that Keesha is jealous of Ashli. It's just they were messing with the same dude and they don't like each other. It's just simple. Let's see. Yola May had a question for me. Let me scroll back up. Yola May says, what are your thoughts on her allowing him to cheat and approving and disapproving the girls? Well, Yola May, this is what I think about that. I think people took what Keesha said out of context when it came to her approving or disapproving of someone. And I also think they take it out of context when they say she allowed him to cheat. This is what I think about that. I think that Keesha was pregnant and over it, okay? And I think that Keesha made the decision to not put, I think she made the decision to put her personal health first before worrying about what a ninja out here doing, because the ninja gonna do what he want to do, right? And so I don't think that Keesha, I don't think that she just let Jeremy cheat. I think she came to a point where she was like, look, do what you want to do. I'm pregnant. I'm going through my health problems, and I'm not finna worry myself to get myself to death about what you're gonna do. So if we need to take a break and you're gonna do what you do, that's fine. So what I feel about that is okay. You know what I'm saying? That does not mean, and that's why I never bash Ashley for her relationship with Jeremy, because I could see how Ashley and Jeremy were able to get together during that period of time, right? So I never, that's why I never gave Ashley a side eye, because at one point, Keesha and Jeremy both admit they did have a break. They did have a moment where they weren't on the same page. Now, as far as her approving and disapproving of the girls, I think what Keesha was trying to say is, listen, if you're gonna be out here doing, because I think she was talking, I don't know where this whole her hand picking the girl situation came from, but I feel like she probably told him, look, I'm a public figure. If you're gonna be out here slanging it, at least slang it with some people who gonna have some sense around here, okay? And I think that's probably a conversation she had with him, not literally, but just kind of like letting him know, like, bro, what is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, like you can't at least get with somebody who ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now all of it sounds foolish, right? You know what I'm saying? The simple solution would just be to just leave Jeremy alone and let him go on about his business. But I'm not gonna say that Keesha handpicked anybody, and I'm not gonna say that she allowed him to have what he had with Ashley, because at the end of the day, at some point, Jeremy has come on this public platform and he has said out of his own mouth that he loves Keesha and he wants to be with Keesha. And we saw from the receipts that after Jeremy made it clear what was going on, there was still some sneaky stuff on the side. Now, so I mean, I'm not gonna make it seem like Keesha just let her man go out here and do whatever. At some point, there was some sneaky stuff going on. Okay, Yola May says it all debunks the narrative of they were in a relationship during the making of the baby, though, don't it? I just no. But this is the thing. I don't think Keisha's issue is. I don't think her primary issue is they made a baby while she was with Jeremy. I think Keisha's biggest issue is after everything hit the fan, after it's all said and done, she invited Ashli into her home. Her and Ashli had a woman to woman conversation and they got on the same page. And it was understood that Jeremy and Keesha are now going to try to move forward with their relationship and that they're going to try to co parent and be friendly and peaceful. And Ashli made it seem as if her and Jeremy were done. And then behind the scenes, her and Jeremy were still sneaking and geeking. Okay? So that's where I feel like Keesha, that's what her biggest issue is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people try to get too technical on the whole side chick thing. Like, at the end of the day, Keesha and Jeremy got on YouTube every day and they were a couple, and Ashli was still sleeping with him during all of it. And so, regardless of what the specifics were, Keisha's relationship with Jeremy, it don't matter. Ashli knew what was going on. If Ashli has to accept some responsibility of playing the role of the other woman, because Jeremy was in some type of situationship with Keesha. He was living with Keesha. He was still having sex with Keesha. So, yes, Ashli was sharing a man with Keesha. That's just it. That's just all. All righty. Let's see. Madison says, whether Keesha loses views or goes down to one subscriber, it will still be her own. It will still be off her own name. First Baby Mama says, Ashli wanted Jeremy. That's it. That's all. Gabrielle says, I think she said she had to unsubscribe for somebody. From Green Gemini 613 says, and Ashli has, she said it out of her own mouth. Someone's responding to Yola Man. They're saying because all the other girls left Jeremy alone and Ashli kept coming after him. Can you get that now? Bless Holland says, love, why the beef for Keesha then? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like this, that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why people keep making it seem like, Ashli is this innocent person and that she just, was walking down the street minding her own business and she did nothing wrong. Don't get me wrong. This is no shade. I've been in Ashli's position, so I'm not judging Ashli. That's why I said, I know how it is to meet a man and he got this weird situation going on with this girl that he lived with, and they rocky. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not judging her. All I'm saying is she definitely was being sneaky with Jerry. Um, Pretty Marie says it's not fair for us to judge because we have been all crazy in love. Exactly. If you ain't never been crazy in love for a man or a woman, whatever you prefer, honey, if you ain't never been crazy and stupid in love, just keep living. We all have done some dumb stuff. Okay, so I can't judge Keesha for that. Yola May says, D honey, it all came out of her mouth herself, that clip amongst everything. I mean, but that's the thing. That's this is what because Yola May is saying that she allowed him to cheat and got mad when it was back. But that's not the point that everyone's trying to make, Yola May. I think that that's what I'm saying. People want to get caught up in this whole Keesha let Jeremy keep. Keesha gave Jeremy a hall pass. Keisha's dumb. Keisha's dumb. Keisha's dumb. Okay, well, at the end of the day, Keesha and Jeremy still together. Jeremy say he loved Keesha. Keesha say she loved Jeremy. They ain't going nowhere. So we can move on from that. You know what I'm saying? The bigger issue now is because of this love triangle and because the situation came to the internet. Now the co-parenting is messed up, and there are innocent children who now have to have a strain on the relationship with their brother because grown people on the internet want to keep fueling hate and division, and their parents are feeding into it. So this is not about Keesha being, Keesha, whatever happened with her and Jeremy. They together now. That's over with. They together. Yeah, Pretty Marie said, sounds like y'all are just mad still in bag. Right. Like, y'all gonna have to get over Keesha taking her man back. Because Keesha ain't the first person to take a man back. If y'all gonna be mad at Keesha, y'all gotta be mad at Kirk and Rashida. Y'all gotta be mad at Gabrielle Union. Y'all gotta be mad at Beyonce because she said Jay-Z cheated on her plenty of times. Y'all gotta be mad at Emily because she let Fabulous allegedly knock her teeth out and she's still with him. Y'all gotta be mad at Princess Love and Ray. They done broke up together and got back together 100 times. I mean, if we're gonna drag somebody for taking a cheating man back, honey, it's a lot of women who are public figures. Y'all gotta be mad at Cardi B. How many times Offset done got caught cheating? So if you all are gonna be mad at somebody for taking a man back, baby, it is a plethora of women who are successful bosses who are with cheating no good men. Y'all gotta be mad at Lala Anthony. Y'all gotta be mad at everybody, baby. So I mean, it's people who literally who are pastors, supposed to be men of God, that be cheating on their wife and they don't got taken back. So we can't hate someone for taking a man back for cheating on them. It says, but none of these women that find the internet, they moved on. Well, this is the thing. Keesha started fighting the internet because the internet, they wanted to talk about her kids and her parents instead of her getting cheated on. I don't think Keesha would have continued to fight the internet if they would have talked about her relationship. I think I didn't see Keesha start really fighting until they started questioning her parenting. So that's why she was fighting the internet. So let's just be clear on that. Because, I mean, she's pretty much made it clear that that's her man and she's standing beside him. So what we going to do about it? And let's point out something else. Let's not forget, you guys, we up here calling Keesha dumb, but Ashli was still sleeping with Jeremy too. Ashli was still going back after the baby was born. In her receipts, she showed where Jeremy was trying to pull up late night and she was about to let him. So we love to call Keesha dumb. We love to call Keesha stupid. We love to talk about what Keesha allowed. But Ashli was down for the cause too. Ashli was down for Jeremy's antic, and she fell for the okie doke too. After she knew what it was, after she got pregnant, and she showed the receipts of him being dry and trying to play her to the left, she still was willing to go back for more. So if we're gonna call Keesha dumb, we gotta call Ashli dumb. No, neither. When it comes to them dealing with Jeremy, they're on the same level. They're on the same level in general anyway. One is better than the other. They both fell for Jeremy's antics. Like everyone wants to talk about Keesha let Jeremy cheat. Keesha let Jeremy cheat. Keesha handpicked some women. Keesha let him have a hall pass. Everyone wants to talk about Keesha and what she allowed Jeremy to do to her. But Ashli watched Jeremy get on the platform and tell a 500,000 people that he is in love with Keesha, and she was willing to still open her legs for him after he did that, after he publicly embarrassed her, and participated in a book. I got a pencil. I'm really talking now. But yes, after he publicly embarrassed her and he wrote a book and tried to play her to the left like she was a one night stand, after he got on this platform with his girlfriend, capping like he was so in love, guess what Ashli was still going to do? It, and per her own receipts, she was still going to bust it open. Which, that's fine. I've done that. Okay, so I'm not judging her. But let's stop talking about Keesha being dumb for a man, because that's nothing to talk about. They both were dumb for Jeremy. That's it. I've been dumb for a man. We've all been dumb for a man. So that's nothing that we have to drag anybody for, because that's just life. And Ashli still, you all said, well, Keisha tried to fight the internet. Well, no, Ashli came on the internet and she presented to us like she was unbothered. When she came on Hazel's platform, they were on there calling Jeremy gay. She was kikiing about it. You know, she was trying to make it seem like she had moved on, baby. She had tried to make it seem like she would never let Jeremy touch her again. And then we saw that was not the case. She was willing to go back and do whatever. So both of them had let Jeremy play with their mind. So in that situation, we can't judge either one of them. I can't judge Ashli. I can't judge Keesha, because they both got played by Jeremy, and one is no better than the other. It says, where's the problem with Jeremy? Oh, no, I'm not saying that Jeremy is Superman. Jeremy is definitely the cause of all this mess, and Jeremy definitely has had the power to shut all this down. That's why I said, as far as Keesha goes, let this responsibility be on Jeremy. Don't take too much of his co-parenting blues on. This is the situation that he created. And so instead of us as women attacking each other, going back and forth, and let's let Jeremy be the man that he needs to be and step up and put it into all this, because he has the power to do so. All right, let's look at the comments, honey. All righty. Gemini says, so you agree they all dumb. Great, all facts. Let's see here. Green Gemini says, but where does it go past that though, Latoya Charlie? Most of the comments I see that have different opinions don't spew hate. Point out the backhanded mess Keesha does behind the scenes and lies. Jasmine says, her own friend said the way she portrays herself on the internet is not how she is in real life. Linda Anderson says the difference is Jeremy is Keisha's man, period. Pretty K Marie says, let's see, I'm sorry. I think Paris like Jeremy. First lady mom says both women have problems with Jeremy. Exactly. Jeremy was the common denominator of both of their problems. So they should both be mad at Jeremy. And so that's my advice to both of them. You know, take the energy off of each other. You know what I'm saying? Take it off of each other, because at the end of the day, Keesha, when you talk about Ashli taking off her shirt and Ashli laid up in the bed, she wouldn't be able to do any of that if Jeremy didn't make her feel comfortable to do that in the beginning. And so I feel like if she's still being inappropriate with Jeremy and still trying to flash him or whatever, that means that you might want to give Jeremy the side eye, because that means that he may be doing something behind the scenes that may make her feel that that's okay. Because I don't personally see myself throwing myself onto a man and him turning me down and then me keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? If it's continuing to happen, then you may want to take a look at Jeremy and see why she feel comfortable doing it. When he's coming to me telling me that she's trying to link up when I go out of town, or telling me that, you know, she's trying to take her shirt off on FaceTime and all of that, I'll be looking at him like, well, what make her think she can do that? What conversations y'all don't have when I'm not around? Because nobody's gonna do that if they're not comfortable. So that would be my only advice to Keesha. You know, I get that you want to stand beside your man, and I get that you know what you and Jeremy have had, and you know how far you all have come. But if there are some shady things still going on with Ashli where she's making advances at him, you may want to look a little bit deeper into that and not be so quick to blame Ashli, because it takes two to tango. Okay, I will say that. But I am glad that Keesha, I am glad that she was able to go live and finally speak out. I did. I appreciated her live. Like I said, they wanted to get on there and they wanted to, clown her. The trolls wanted to clown her. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting some of my screen. But yeah, the clowns, they wanted to clown her for her leave out or whatever. But to me, she looked good, and she came on there and she did what she was supposed to been did. So I appreciated her live. Let's look into the comments. It says, agree, but Ashley did this to another woman. Also, we all can agree that she's a side chick. Well, yeah, there was another woman that said that Ashley was messing with her man. Now, I'm not going to lie about that. But like I said, even if Ashley is a side chick, if that's the type of lifestyle you want to live, have at it. It's not, I would not encourage, like I said, I've done it before, unintentionally, I've been a side chick. I don't encourage anyone to take on that as a full-time role because that's a lot. But I will say that, that's not you have to grow up one day and realize that if someone really wants to be with you, they would just be with you. And so if you always find yourself playing number two, you may just want to do some self-evaluation and pull back. All right, let's look at the rest of these comments. It says, Keesha wrote the book, but everyone know about the baby before the book. Right. Good answer says Ashley is the big liar, but y'all ignore that because y'all sweep her nasty behavior under the rug and focus on Keesha to hate her instead. Yeah, we'll get into that. Pretty K Marie says, I think she stayed for the kids. I really think that's Keesha's only concern. Yeah. But I think Keesha has to understand as well, because I really do think that she's trying to, just give her children a different life, and she doesn't want to raise them in a single parent household. But they'll be okay. I would rather to raise my children in a single parent household than to have my children see me get mistreated over and over again. But like I said, if Jeremy is truly changing behind the scenes, and if he's making the necessary adjustments that he needs to gain her trust, then have that and then be in love. But if you see a pattern continue of him being sneaky and doing dirt, and you need to just go ahead and leave that alone. Green Gemini says, because Keesha keeps talking, if she lets it go, everyone else will as well. I hire you, or I hear Keesha. Let's hope it all's done since she's finally spoke now. Lyrica Love says, everyone did not know about the baby before the book. It was all speculation. Most people thought Shani was crazy at the time. Latoya says to Gemini, why would she let it go? Ashley could have called Jeremy to sort the situation out. She came to the internet to try to prove Keesha was trying to obsess over her son and prove a point. Glenn says, all them people taking it for Ashley. Take your man around her and let her sleep with him and see how you feel. Right. Hey, baby mama number 2. Dee says, that's the thing. Ashley tries to use sex as a weapon, but Jeremy tells Keesha when she does it. Yeah, and I can, like I said, because that's another thing about this situation. Everyone wants to nitpick and talk about all the things that Keesha did, but why ain't nobody question Ashley about these allegations? Because we question Keesha about everything, right? Keesha, they said you showed the baby hair in the vlog. Keesha, why you showed that baby leg? Keesha, why you did this? Why you did that? Keesha, right? But there have been several allegations about Ashley and several things that are sketchy, and no one has questioned her on, because why are you calling this man with your shirt off if he calling for the child? You know what I'm saying? Why is you trying to link up with him when Keesha go out of town? Why did you show them receipts after the book, after he done disrespected you and showed you he ain't in? Why you still let him come over there at 3 a.m. and you want us to be mad and you want us to take your side? So that's why I feel like this situation is so one-sided, because there have been several, I feel like, inconsistencies with Ashley's story and how she presented herself to the internet and what we see behind the scenes, even from her friend Hazel's own admission. We're going to talk about that. And no one wants to question that. No one wants to question it, because I'm sorry, when the day of reckoning came and when those receipts came, I mean, she lost it. When she showed the receipt and it was saying, hey, I want to come over there, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and she said, I don't know what the wording was verbatim, but when she was like, yeah, I wanted you to come over here, basically saying that she was still down to get some D from this man after he done came on this internet and dogged you like this, girl. I was like, girl, baby, girl, bye. I love you, Ashley, but I can't be mad at your baby daddy if you ain't mad at your baby daddy. And if, at that, you know what I'm saying? I can't do that. So I, even though I feel like, I do feel like if she is coming on to Jeremy, then I do personally feel like Jeremy may be doing something to make her feel like it's okay. Because I just don't think nobody's that crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. But baby, it's just like, her whole thing was, the reason why people empathize with her, because we thought she was over this situation. We thought that she had taken accountability for it. We thought that she was, she was moving on. We thought she was elevating. We thought she was done with Jeremy, right? So we felt for her. But if you're still willing to sleep with him after he's disrespecting you, then why are you mad at Keesha? All right. Madison River says Ashley dressed Keesha and Keesha dressed her back. IDK why people felt the need to insert themselves. Could have just told, I'm sorry. Let's see. Could have just told Ashley to use her own platform. Oh, I think she was talking about Paris. I was wondering about, yeah, I didn't see the point of Paris being up there, because if Keesha would have went live with D, everybody would have had a feel. Cammy says, I think Keisha is easy to access because she has a platform. Keisha has overshared, and a lot of us feel entitled to know more. Yeah, Keisha definitely did share a lot of her life, and people were entitled to know. People do feel entitled to know all her business. Gabrielle M says Paris went quiet because Meek Mob D came to the internet. Let's be real, because before that, Paris was going in all day, every day on Keisha. I will say I do see a shift in the content, and I don't know if it's, so I feel like, I think that Paris is realizing that, it ain't necessary to do all that hooping, hollering, and screaming to get your point across. All right, let's see. Cupcake says no. I think actually trying to test the waters. Like, if I had them before, I get them again. Yeah, that's what some people do. Latoya says, I don't think so. Now, this girl says she was willing to take whatever she could get out. Of course, she's probably be naked on FaceTime, but I could be wrong. Well, I forgot she said that. Now, y'all bringing back memories. And you know what? I have been in a situation like with my ex. I had an ex boyfriend that I was with for 6 years, and his baby mama she was very inappropriate, and I will say that there are some women who it's like they get a kick off of being able to sleep with somebody else's man. Like that fuels their confidence. Like knowing that they can still get a baby daddy, that makes them feel good. And so I'm not gonna lie, at like it's not people out here who do crazy stuff like that. Like they'll try their baby daddy, have the little booty shorts on or something when he come get the child or FaceTime. So I'm not saying that Jeremy is cheating on Keesha still. I'm just saying that it's kind of questionable, but she could be just trying to test the waters and see can she still get him or whatever, because he may very well be giving her the cold shoulder. So that's a good perspective, because I know that my ex definitely was dibbling and dabbling with his baby mama. However, there were times where he wasn't dealing with her and she was still being inappropriate. So that's a good perspective. He may very well be ignoring her. All right. D says the bottom line is Ashley was using sex before and the baby, and it was working before, threatening Jeremy to come to the internet, threatening to tell Keesha. Yeah. So that's a good perspective, though. That is a good perspective, you guys. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, some women do think they can forever have access. Yeah, some women just be like, I bet I can still get him. I bet you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, girl, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Jen says, now think about it though. She was crazy enough to go on the internet and blatantly lie. Align yourself with somebody like Paris. She's not all the way there. She seems like she can do anything for clout. That is a good perspective, because I'm sorry, I didn't see the point of her going on Paris' platform. I was like, girl, what Paris gonna got to do with this, okay? D says she's been doing that and she can't take that he won't fall for it. Yeah, that could be true. This I'll finish the next one. I can type now. Now says you can just describe Ashley to a T. She thrives off of getting someone's man. Why she ain't got her own without it inappropriate twerking. D says, but yeah, she was doing that before, and now it kills her that he ain't messing with it. He be telling Keesha. Yeah. Pre-K Marie says parents were so excited for the drama. Yeah. Honestly, though, women have low self-esteem. That's what Snoop says. Madison says, seems like Ashley pops in to see if she can sleep with Jeremy to create more mess. That could be a possibility. D says, and she keeps trying to meet with him without August, and he says no. I didn't know that now. I'm always like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. And so that very well could be the case. You know what I'm saying? Because if she came to this internet very acting she came acting as if she was unbothered and acting as if, she was just over it and she has risen above that. And then to see you still falling for the same antics and still being willing to sleep with him after the fact, it did kind of make me rise the eyebrow like, girl, is you mad or not? Hmm. Yeah, D says she tries to get my Keisha out of town and he says no, she can't take it. That's crazy because it's kind of like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So you want us to hate Keisha, you want us to not trust Keisha around your child. And if this is if Ashley's doing this, which she may be, um, but then you want to still sleep with Jeremy. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You got to pick a side and stay there if you want this co-parenting situation to work out. Darling says, I would just be worried about that one yes with 1,000 no's. Tanya Holmes says, watch Ashley won't care about none of that when she gets in a relationship. Jeremy will be able to see his son all the time with no issues. Yeah. Madison says, if Jeremy would sleep with Ashley, they would praise Ashley. Yeah, and that's true. People really were rooting for this whole Ashley is the better woman. This is the thing. It's like kind of like the whole like high school like mean girl, type of situation. Ashley is the stereotypical, and this is not being shady because I feel like she's beautiful, right? But she is the light skinned Instagram model baddie. She's giving the girls everything they need for hot girl summer. Like she's giving us like city girl vibes. And and Keisha's giving like, hey, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a mom, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I come on here every day trying to look like a beauty queen. You know what I'm saying? I'm up here, being a mom, doing my thing. But Keisha can still give looks too, right? But so I feel like people, they look at Ashley, they automatically want to put Jeremy with Ashley because Ashley appears to be this, just baddie, right? And like I said, she's beautiful. So she is to me. She's she fits that description of a baddie. But you don't know who people are at the core. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like everyone wants to bash Keisha and call Keisha so dumb, but then they make excuses for why Ashley will still be sleeping with Jeremy. It doesn't make sense, you guys. If we're gonna cancel Keisha and say that Keisha is stupid and dumb and she's disgusting for being with Jeremy, then we gotta say the same thing for Ashley. And I actually joined Nia's live and I tried to make that point. Like, well, hey, Ashley came to the internet wanting us to be upset with Jeremy, but then she was still sleeping with him. And they were like, well, that's her baby daddy. She can do that. Well, then that's Keisha baby daddy, and Keisha can do that. All I'm saying is let's keep the same energy. All righty. I just Latoya says, I wish Ashley was mature enough. I'm sorry, the comments so fast. It says, I wish Ashley was mature enough to just call Jeremy to say what affects her. Why post it on Instagram and go to Paris's live? What does that solve? Right. I mean, just have a conversation behind the scenes. That's it. That's all. I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody calling my phone. Sorry, you guys. All righty. Let's see. Let's look at the comments again. Is I love my kids that had a girlfriend, free babysitter. Right, girl. My baby daddy has a girlfriend, and she be over there cooking salmon bites for my child and all of that. I mean, me and her don't really have a relationship, but I love the fact that my child has a woman in the household when she's away from me. And her my child's dad, his girlfriend takes her to get her nails done, cooks her some good meals. So I'm here for it. It says Jeremy is to blame for all of this, and that's where exactly that's where the energy should have stayed. We should have stayed on Jeremy. Why you did this? Why you cheated? Instead of all this back and forth between the women. All right, let's see. Meet Miss J says Jeremy is to blame for all of this, and that's where all the energy should be focused, right? Darling says, let's say he did go back to Ashley. That's still bad because how you get him is how you lose him. Exactly. Golden says, never mind, is disrespectful in the chat. Why the name calling after the X? I was respectful. Yeah, nobody know. Look, y'all don't come in here calling nobody no names now. We just talking. Linnea says, why hasn't anyone called her the fact that she knew her child was alone with Keesha and it wasn't a problem to end it? Right, because this is the thing. You got in your car and you drove him to Keisha's place of residence, or Keesha and Jeremy live together. So you drove him to Keesha and Jeremy's home. And so, like, why are we upset here? Moving forward, they need to fix stuff privately. Stop sneak dissing, shading comments, and clearly feeding information to people who ain't doing S but making it worse. Clean house and call us and call it, then call us over. That's a good point. That is a good point. Jasmine says, "Is Ashley was more mad the trolls found out and trolled her more than her son being in the vlog." Yeah, I think that's what it is because I honestly feel like him because it wasn't like the vlog was all about him. I feel like she was just upset that it's on Front Street and now people are confronting her because she didn't want them to know. And like I said, that's why my advice to Ashley is, girl, don't let the internet dictate what you do with your child. You don't owe anybody an explanation. Now, let's move on to some other sidebars. Sidebar, Hazel ended up going live. And this is the very interesting thing about the internet, and this is why I say a hate train was never necessary. Because Hazel goes live, and D says Jerry doesn't play about his kids. Actually messed up playing with the baby. Yeah. And I will say this before I move on to Hazel going live. I feel like people love to try to paint Jeremy as this bad person. While I do feel like, he made some mistakes, but anybody who is willing to step up and welcome that baby in, knowing the drama that it could cause, you have to give him a pat on the back for wanting to be in that child's life and wanting to step up to the plate. Can he do more to make sure that there is some solid co-parenting going on? Definitely. He needs to definitely figure out some more game plans. But there are some men who would have got with Ashli and who would have pretended like he never even knew Ashli. There are some men who would have tried to deny the baby. There were some men who would have tried to hide the baby. And so the fact that he has come to the forefront, he has admitted his wrong, and he's saying, look, bring my son on over here. Then, how can we be mad at him for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that we need to give him a cookie because, as moms, we don't have a choice, right? But what I'm saying is, people need to stop the whole Jeremy is a deadbeat, this and the, stop that narrative because we don't know there are other layers going on here. Because for her to feel like I can't call my baby daddy because of his girlfriend, he's the last resort as a babysitter, then there's some issues that she needs to work out within herself and work out with him as well. Because it looks like he's trying to offer her an alternative for babysitting. She just doesn't want to take it because of Keesha. And so there's going to have to be some common ground here. All right. Pretty camera, Glenna Anderson says nobody tied up Hazel in this mess. She created the mess herself, dragging Ashley to the internet. Yeah, I'm gonna get into Hazel's live as well. Madison says realistically, Jeremy didn't want the baby when she found out she was pregnant, so it's rare that he actually wants to be involved. First baby mama says, Kyra P says he's not a deadbeat, but he is not involved, and Keesha be telling him on the low. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's room for improvement when it comes to Jeremy because I feel like, if it was my baby daddy, and just any man in general, like men have this ability to kind of set the record straight in certain situations, and he's not about to let me and his other baby mama go back and forth about it. He's not going to let me and his baby mama dictate what goes on with his children. He's not going to let me tell him that I ain't bringing my child or whatever. So, not saying that my baby dad just has some type of hold on me, but he's able to put his foot down and he's able to say, look. And so I feel like, if we have a father saying, hey, bring that baby over here, then, bring them, But now I'm not saying don't be concerned and don't have rules set in place. I'm not saying she should just let her child go to the wind, right? But what I'm saying is, people are acting as if she needs to keep her child away from Jeremy as if he's some type of monster. Like, he is over here. He loves his son. He has some room for improvement. He definitely does. But, at the end of the day, there can definitely be a relationship here if all of them work together. They said Jeremy's doing better. We have to respect it. Right. Peaches says, "Why not take us through the court system?" And that's what I'm saying. And I get it. Like, cause me personally, like when me and my child's dad, when we first broke up, a lot of people were like, "Why you don't put him on child support? Why you don't put him on child support?" Because he was doing for my child, but we were just getting to it so much that I got to the point where I didn't even want to communicate with him sometimes. And so a lot of people were like, "Well, instead of him always asking for the money, just go put him on child support." And I was like, I don't really want to do all that, because sometimes when you put the courts in your business, it becomes a bigger headache. So I'm not going to judge him for not immediately going to the court system. But now that we're at this point, yeah, Jeremy, you need to go ahead and call your lawyer or something, and y'all need to get a visitation agreement set in stone. All right, let's look at some comments. And Ashley even admitted that he's capable of it. This Kyra P made a good point. Ashley said that he's capable of watching his child. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Ashley wants to bash Jeremy, because we saw how quiet that she got when Paris was trying to bash him. I think she knows that he's willing to step into the plate and watch his son. It's just these other variables that are making the situation difficult. D says that's what he did, and Ashley came in there to lie again on Keesha. Right. Yola May says he's not even the father to the girl who said it every day. I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna call him a deadbeat, because Green Gemini 613 says because he doesn't have what he needs for the courts to take him seriously. Peaches says that kills all the confusion. Let the legal system handle it and stop the back and forth. That's right. Madison says she rags about him not being on the birth certificate, so he has no rights, but was quick to bring him over there for 4 days. Mink says Ashley barely has her son. Green Gemini says, right, what happened? This lady trolling y'all. Why y'all delete her comments? So, moderators, if there's somebody, being disrespectful, delete them. Tanya says, I can tell the girls love their dad. Stop it now. Right. Kyra P says, Keesha gave August hot bath. Keesha rocked August to sleep in the night. Keesha bought him clothes and Pampers. Those were her words, not mine. Meet Miss J says Jeremy needs to do better. He should put an end to all of this on the internet. He lets Keisha's friend disrespect his child's mother. D says he wants to keep the court out, but now he has no choice. Yeah, he definitely has to keep the court. He definitely has to keep the court out of it. And like I said, as a man, he can step up and he can get some order going if he's able to, get them. If he's able to focus on what's important. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to put as a father, if you have two baby mamas that's feuding, and I'm not a father, right? I'm a mom. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how it is to be a man in that situation, but from what I've seen with people who I've dealt with who've had more than one baby mama or whatever, you have to put your foot down and you have to tell them what is and what isn't going to go on. And you have to be the champion for respect. You have to be like, look, y'all, we ain't gonna do all this arguing. We ain't gonna do all this fussing. We're not gonna do all this fighting. We're not gonna do all this name calling. We're not gonna do all this extra stuff. This is about the kids. Let's focus on the kids. Okay. And so with that being said, that's what he has to learn how to do. He has to learn how to step in more. Because I feel like if he would have stepped in more from the beginning and kind of spoke up a little bit more, then maybe we wouldn't be here today. But who knows? People hate Keesha, so we probably would still be here. But when it comes to the co-parenting situation, he definitely has the power to turn it around. And I think that he will turn it around. All right, now let's talk about Hazel going live. So some type of way Hazel also went live, and this is just a little sidebar. And she pretty much revealed, because her name of course gets brought up in it because she was the reason why Ashley initially came to the internet and started to speak out to herself. She was kind of like the muscle behind it, and so she was the one that pretty much championed for Ashley to come speak out for herself. And so she went live, and I came in on the middle, so I don't know how they got on topic, but she pretty much revealed, and she pretty much finally spoke on why her and Ashley are no longer friends. And that has been a big question mark, because if we all watch this from the beginning, Hazel going live is what popped off the disrespect and the below the belt stuff. Pretty much the Keesha. No, I'm not gonna say Hazel started it. I'm not gonna say that Hazel is the only one who was disrespectful and going below the belt. But what I will say is, once Hazel started going live, I will say that that's when the whole talk about your mama, talk about your parenting, that's when all that type of stuff started, right? That's when the conversation went from, okay, we just talking about Ashli, Keesha, and Jeremy and how they came about. Now we're talking about people mama slow, people kids slow. That's where that started. I feel like as a viewer, I saw that start on Hazel's live. And so Hazel pretty much came to the internet and she was just talking about how, we saw her be such a champion for Ashli, right? We saw her really, taking up and organizing all these arguments and lives. And we saw her really pushing Ashli to tell her story and pushing Ashli to drop the receipts and pushing Ashli to come out. And then all of a sudden they just stopped being friends, right? And then we find out that this whole time that Hazel up here screaming, hooping, and hollering, her and Jeremy had a little something going on. I think they dated when they were, younger and, had a little flirtation, a little kissy, whatever. And then we find out that, it's just some friction with the friendship and they fall out. Now in the live, Hazel pretty much reveals that it was a one-sided friendship, and that she felt as if Ashli was not supportive of her. Hazel has a luxury pillowcase and body butter line, and she felt like Ashli didn't really care about that, didn't show any support. And she pretty much revealed to us that behind the scenes, Ashli would be boosting her up to talk about these topics, and Ashli would pretty much be using her as the muscle of the situation. And she felt like, her and Ashli were getting somewhere. And when she was helping Ashli be more vocal, she felt like she thought that she would then in turn get Ashli support on things that she had going on outside of, YouTube. And Ashli just wasn't giving that same support. And then Ashli also told Jeremy some of Hazel's personal business, and she didn't appreciate that. And she also felt like Ashli was kind of, in so many words, she was saying Ashli was taking advantage of the babysitting services that her mom provided. Ashli mom offered to watch August and offered to be there for August. And, Ashli wasn't following the instructions as far as, not having him everywhere. He, got their family sick or whatever. I don't know if it was with COVID or just a common cold, but, Hazel was saying that Ashli didn't offer up any money to the mom and all of that. So pretty much we learned from Hazel, and I said all this to say, we learned from Hazel that Ashli is not who we think she is either. Let's get into some comments. Let's see. Hazel started it and assumed Ashli was gonna stick with her, and she didn't. She left her out there looking crazy. Yeah. Rocky S. Tanya says y'all funny. Rocky S says Ashli not loyal to anybody. Glenna Anderson says August not going to care about courts. He wants to see his dad and sisters, and Ashli keeping him from his dad because she focused on her own interests and that's what's best for her son. Mink says Ashli cares, so that's why they're not friends. Pretty K Marie says, see, I knew I liked Hazel for a reason besides the drama with Dean. Gabrielle says she also implied that her mom was watching August and he was sick. She even said the reason she got in the accident was because she was on her way to do a COVID test because August got them sick. Oh, I didn't hear all that. Lord, gee, because like I said, I came in on the middle part of it, but I did see her talking about the whole baby getting them sick thing. D says Ashli left when she found out she smashed Jeremy. Jasmine says Hazel thought she was gonna come up off this, and once money got involved, Ashli ain't look out. And how you conveniently forget to tell your friend you mess with her baby daddy. And then Cammy says these are the reasons people be high. If you don't unnecessary slick comments, if your friend was so hurt, go be with her instead of YouTube all day. And Pretty K Marie says the truth always comes out. So here's how I feel about Ashli and Hazel no longer being friends and Hazel going live. So and it's almost time to go get my child from school. So we're gonna I'm almost it's almost gonna be time to get off of here. But I'm gonna say this about Hazel. When it comes to Hazel as a person, I feel like this. I didn't personally care for Hazel's presence in this drama. I feel like Hazel made the situation very aggressive and below the belt. That's how I feel. However, I will say this about Hazel. Hazel is someone, and I feel like, and I know D, you and Hazel don't like each other, so please don't take this as an offense. But I will say that Hazel has a strong personality, just like, D. So the same way we see D ride for Keesha, and she gonna say what she gonna say, and she gonna stand on that. That's pretty much the vibes that Hazel was giving. Now the difference between the two is D is coming to this platform and she's defending her friend, and she's trying to stand up for what's right when it comes to her friend. And that's, how D came about. D came out in response to everyone attacking her friend. Hazel, on the other hand, she came to the platform, and instead of her just championing, instead of her just supporting her friend and just saying, "Hey, friend, tell your story about what your involvement with Jeremy was," she kind of came to the platform on some, "Hey, girl, go in on these people, girl. Talk about this girl, mama. Let's talk about how she over there with that, and her baby daddy said her coochie stank. Let's talk about how she got that acne on her face." Like, Hazel came on the scene being very disrespectful and childish, in my opinion, because what Keesha smelled like, what her skin looked like, what her wigs look like, that don't have nothing to do with nothing, right? So I feel like Hazel, she knows how to read you down. Uh and she stands on what she's saying, but what she's saying really is not, it's hard to follow Hazel and support Hazel, because you really came on some bullish stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really came on some, you took this to a real aggressive level, and then you real aggressive, and you conveniently left out the part that you and Jeremy had a little something going on. So it makes you give Hazel the side eye, because it's kind of like you was going hard, girl. Like, you was in this thing swinging. You was swinging for your friend, right? Like, you was in this thing, like, going in, baby, going in. And then we later find out that there's some type of background with you and Jeremy. So with that being said, I feel like, she could talk a good talk. I will say that, but she's another questionable character in the situation, because it's kind of like, you did all that, but then you left out what you got. The skeletons that you got in your closet that could make the situation rocky. You know what I'm saying? D says Hazel came to expose, but didn't mention she F Jeremy, so that was the fumble. And yeah, and that's the allegations. Like I said, Hazel was saying that's not true. And D said it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the truth is, but I know that it's very odd for you to go that hard for your friend, and you and her baby daddy had a little something going on. And so the streets are speculating that the reason why Ashli and Hazel are no longer friends is because, Ashli found out about, Hazel and Jeremy through this situation. Hazel's just saying that Ashli was just inconsiderate and one-sided, and, she extended a lot of herself, and she didn't really get much back out of the situation. I feel like Hazel took this. She probably said, "Look, girl," to Ashley. She probably said, "Look, they on this internet dragging you. You need to come on out and speak up for yourself. In the midst of you speaking up for yourself, this could be beneficial for both of us. I can help you read these people down, because I can read you down. I can read somebody down, girl. I can help you read these girls down. You can build a platform and you can get this bag. I can get this bag. And we can capitalize off these people trying to play with your name." And so I feel like, was Hazel genuinely coming to the internet to defend her friend? Or was she trying to look for a reason to come up off of her friend's misfortune? I feel like it was a little bit of both. I do. I do. So, that was another part. But I said all that to say is, once again, let's talk about how fickle the internet is, because you all are on, not you all, but the people who hate Keesha, you all are on Paris's live, and we're bashing, Keesha. We're praising Ashli. We're saying Ashli does no wrong. We're Ashley. We're team Ashli. But then, as soon as Hazel goes live, and Hazel starts to speak negatively about Ashli, and Hazel starts to, give her perspective on how Ashli is not a good person, then you all are championing her, and you all are agreeing with her, and you all are encouraging her to bash Ashli. And so that's why no hate train was necessary, because everybody in this situation has flaws. Hey, Darlene. I'm glad you joined. She couldn't let her friend have the last word on her situation. She was the first one on the line making community post. Mink says even what she exposed by Ashley wasn't enough to expose the best friend. Yeah, I agree with that because I'm like, if you all were really friends and if you about ride or die, because Hazel came to the internet as if Ashley was her girl. Like, this is my girl. Like, I die for this girl. Like, this is my dog. Like, y'all ain't gonna play with her, right? That's how she came. And you not being supportive or not supporting my business or just not being a good friend to me personally with the stuff that we got going on, that's not enough for me to come to the internet and kind of what I'm saying, like, put you out there like that. Because she also insinuated that Ashley didn't always have it together in the beginning. Ashley had to use her house as a meeting part apart for the baby, and she kind of put a little bit of Ashley business out there because people were kind of getting on Keesha because Keesha was like, well, I had to make Ashley a care package and things of that nature. And everybody was like, Keesha was trying to call Ashley broke. Keesha was trying to say that Ashley was struggling. That's not right. You don't expose that. But then Hazel pretty much came and confirmed the same thing around the time that she was first pregnant. Now she's doing well, right? But around the time that she was first, pregnant with and all of that, and or I guess the baby was a newborn. I don't know what the time frame was, but it seems like Hazel confirmed that she was going through a hard time. And so everyone had all this heat for Keesha for saying that she made a care package. But then when Hazel says, well, girl, you had a situation going on where you didn't have no way for your baby daddy to come and he came to my house. Well, that's kind of the same thing. We're not mad at her. So it's like, but yeah, so I said all that to say it's kind of like, Hazel going live talking about the friendship was interesting because it shows you how quick people switch up. And these very people who were praising Ashley and acting as if Ashley couldn't do any wrong, they quickly switched and they quickly started to bash Ashley as soon as Hazel comes back out because Hazel is the more aggressive, loud one, and Hazel is the one that has been known to read Keesha for Phil. So because this is another person who probably we can get to continue to hate on Keesha, let's go ahead and ride her coattail when she's talking about Ashley, even though we were just over here praising Ashley. So that just shows you how, the internet is just hilarious because it's kind of like you all just want to be upset for no reason. You know what I'm saying? You all just want a reason to continue to be hateful. Yeah, Jen says selective outrage. Exactly. You all have selective outrage. Because Hazel, she didn't go too in, but she went in on Ashley a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I'll let that happen to Keesha when Keesha was saying that Ashley has this character flaws and Ashley is not who we think we are. We everybody, oh my God, Keisha's a hater. Keisha's jealous. Keesha doesn't like Ashley because Ashley is this and Ashley is that. Ashley does no wrong. Ashley, right? But and everyone tears Keesha a new one when she says anything negative about Ashley. But then when Hazel does a whole live exposing that Ashley was a terrible friend and pretty much a terrible person, everyone's here for it. You know what I'm saying? It's a double standard with this Keesha topic, which is why we should just let it be what it is. It's not that serious to champion people to hate her because everyone has flaws, even Ashley. Selective. Rocky answers they have to talk about Keesha because Keesha is that important in their lives. Cammy Bird says entertainment, and I hate that it is what it has become because these are real people, not characters. That's right. These are real people. You know what I'm saying? Like they go through real life. They're not going to sit up here and handle every situation the way that we think they should. Exactly, Tay. I like what Tay said. Tay said, just be fair. Just be fair. Just be fair. Like, I'm not saying we can never talk about Keesha or we can never talk about Ashley. What I'm saying is just be fair when talking about them. Don't be outraged with one thing, and then when the other side of the argument says the exact same thing, we don't have nothing to say. Peter said it was not in the title. She showed you guys the original title of both sides live. Diane says, why are these people involved? It's Ashley and Jeremy's child, but she let the internet tell her what to do. It's crazy. It's crazy because everybody's going to tell me that my baby that can keep my child. Yeah, my child gonna be right over there with her daddy every time. Yeah, Jasmine says, just be fair. Right. Just be fair. That's all I'm asking of the internet. As someone who is in this conversation and who's reacting to it, let's just be fair. Like, we don't have to like Keesha. We don't have to like Ashli. We can prefer to watch Ashli more than Keesha. We can prefer to watch Keesha more than Ashli. But when we're talking about these things, let's be fair, because there have been several double standards in this situation. The first one is, you know, Paris said on that live and was getting ready to dog Jeremy out. And then when she heard Ashli not here for it, she quickly changed the narrative and wanted to backtrack, or not backtrack, but she did not want to. She didn't keep going in, but let it would have been Keesha. We would have kept going in. We're going in on Keesha because she's talking about Ashli, and the biggest thing is Keesha called Ashli a side chick. Keesha called Ashli a side chick, and that's what Paris and everyone else is saying, that that's their reasoning behind their hate for Keesha or their dislike for Keesha. But now Hazel has done a whole live, and she has pretty much said that Ashli is not a good friend. Ashli is selfish. Ashli got them sick and all of that. And she also said in the recording with Keesha, when she played the recording when her and Keesha had a phone conversation, she said her and Paris ain't friends. And she said that, Ashli and Jeremy were still sleeping together even when all that was going on. And that's why she was writing Jeremy, trying to get him together. So, but no one wants to talk about that because it would make Ashli look some type of way. But if someone was saying these things about Keesha, we would be talking about it all night long. All right. First baby mama says, Peaches, Paris lie every damn day. Oh, the comment went away. Next video, Paris Meg, I want you to get the same energy. And that's what I'm saying. Let's just keep the same energy. Lania George says, what was your thoughts on how you were treated on Nia's panel? My thought on how I was treated on Nia's panel, I feel like Nia's panel was filled with people who hate Keesha once again. And so I feel like the conversation was getting somewhere with me and Nia. I feel like she was understanding where I was coming from. But then I just feel like, they just did not want to accept that I was not about to be a Keesha hater. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could not accept the fact that I was not about to continue to go back and forth. I can have my opinion, but that doesn't mean that I have to dislike you all. And I think they just could not accept that I was not feeding into arguing or being disrespectful with each other over our opinion. And I think that we started to get somewhere, because she was able to better hear me on her platform. But then her sister came on with all this weird energy, and I'm like, girl, we ain't doing it. Okay. For those of y'all who don't know, and a little bit of background on that, Paris, Keesha, D, all of them joined my live before, and that sparked people to kind of talk about me a little bit. And so my life is Nia. She's another reactor. She was actually wanting to join my live, but I had Keesha and D had been waiting for a while to let Paris get off or whatever, and so I was going to let them speak their piece because I let Paris go up there by herself. I let Paris speak alone because she didn't want to be on there with D. So I was letting people on one by one. And so my life is Nia. She got upset with me a little bit because she felt like I kind of pushed her to the side because I let Keesha on before her. And she also did not agree with the way that I was speaking to Paris about the whole Keesha situation. And so after the fact, she went live and I joined and we just had a conversation about it. Like I said, I don't have anything against Nia, but I feel like her sister came on that live like we was on the street ready to fight. And it was like, girl, it ain't that serious. I don't know you people. So I how I feel about how I was treated on her live is, I feel like me and Nia were kind of getting on the same page. But then it's just, like I said, if you're in a live full of people who don't like Keesha, it's never gonna end well because it's gonna be that one person who come in with all this weird energy and ready to argue and fuss and be disrespectful. Because like I said, we were getting to a good place on that live, and then she let her sister in, and then they got mad because I also made a point, and I was saying, well, even though I don't like what goes on with this Keesha drama, I don't personally dislike anyone. So if Paris were to make a video and she was showing us how to melt some lace, because Paris used to do wig videos, that was Paris's thing. I could still watch it. That's what I was saying. And girl, all hell broke loose. They was like, oh my God, you're saying Paris melts a wig? That's disrespectful. You're being disrespectful. And I'm like, melting a wig means putting your lace down and making it look invisible. So what I'm saying is, before the Keesha thing, Paris was very good at her wig videos. So even though I don't like how she treats Keesha, I'm not so personally invested that I can't watch her lay a wig. That's all I'm saying. And girl, all hell broke loose, and baby, it went left. You know what I'm saying? They was like, oh, she disrespectful, she trying to be funny. Ooh, I'm like, girl, okay. Yeah, they did drag me, honey. They drugged me, honey. But see, this is the thing about me. Because I was really being sincere on that live. But this is the thing about me. The internet will never break me, because baby, I'm really built like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know who I am. And at the end of the day, it's nothing a stranger on the internet who don't know me, who can't pull up on me, who ain't paying my bills. It's nothing you can do to tear me down. So I just took it with a grain of salt and kept it moving. I'm still doing my videos, and I'm still doing my same type of commentary, because this is not about us. We're talking about someone else's life. We don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though, we know them on social media, like, D joins my live and she shows lots of love. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, we don't know each other personally. You know what I'm saying? This is just the internet. And so with that being said, I'm never going to create a beef with a person who has a different opinion than me, because it's not that serious. Because at the end of the day, if I see you in real life, I'm pretty sure we're not going to have that conversation. It's not going to be that energy. So why sit on the internet and try to be hateful and mean? Like, it's just not that serious. Like, we can say, girl, I like Keesha. And I can say, girl, I can say, girl, I like Keesha. Somebody else can say, girl, I don't like Keesha. Okay, that's your opinion. We still black sisters. We still sisters in Christ. We still can break bread together at the end of the day. And it is what it is. Like, so that's the problem with this Keesha drama. People want to personally beef over it. It's like, it's no beef. Why do y'all have to be so hateful? Why can't we just agree to disagree and move on? Okay, it says, please scroll to see the Peaches. It says, please scroll up to see the comment from Peaches and remove it. Okay, Peaches, they say you being disrespectful up in here, Peaches. I'm gonna have to put you in timeout. I hope I just put the right person in timeout. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, Peaches is a troll. Okay. Yeah, I had to block Peaches, okay? Okay, Mink says y'all want to shine a light on the lie and laugh at the trauma, and you don't know anyone involved. Exactly. It's kind of like y'all want to start this hate train, and y'all want to bash this girl, you know what I'm saying? But then, when anyone comes up with a difference of opinion, y'all want to be super sensitive about that as well. So you want to be a bully, you want to be hateful, you want to call people a bitch, you want to call people a hoe, you want to call people out their name, you want to talk about people's parenting. Y'all here for that. And I'm not saying y'all, but I'm saying the Keesha haters. Y'all ain't nothing wrong with talking about somebody's parenting. Ain't nothing wrong with talking about Keesha's skin. Ain't nothing wrong with talking about her body odor. Y'all built so tough when it's time to bash somebody, right? But then when somebody come up with a difference of opinion, y'all want to get mad and start whining. It's like, if you built like that, you just built like that. Y'all do all this woofing on the internet, and y'all do all this tough talking when it comes to Keesha and bashing her. But then when someone has a difference of opinion, y'all can't respect it. Y'all can't just listen to it without getting your feelings. You know? It says, I can't believe they had that much time to troll folks. Yeah, I cannot believe it either. But like I said, in summary, Madison says, if anything, why not watch D, who actually knows Keesha for years, to get information on Keesha? Why go to someone who never seen her in person? Yeah, that's a good point. Because even with Hazel and Ashli actually knew each other in real life. So I did not have a problem with Hazel being there for Ashli in the videos. D and Keesha know each other in real life, right? They're real friends. But as far as Paris being in the equation, Paris, you don't know these people from a can of paint. You know what the internet and what they tell you, but you don't know them. You're not there in real life with them. Because as we can see, Hazel was there in real life with Ashli behind the scenes, and she was able to, you know, decipher the situation and pull away because she didn't like what she was seeing behind the scenes, right? So we can't, we can't, we cannot give Paris in this situation all this power over the situation because she's not a part of it. She's just like me or anybody else who does reaction videos. Pretty Cameron reads, I wish we could do a live and they explain what they want from Keesha. What are they so mad about when it comes to drama? Right. Like what? That's what I be want to know. What do y'all want from this girl? Do y'all want her to just lay down and just what? Like, because at this point it's nothing else that she can give. They said they hate D for getting in the way of their plan to ruin Keesha. Yeah, that's what it is, honey, because when D came, it made it very hard to continue to do the bullying. I will say, and that's why I say, D is a character, honey. D will come over here and she will read you down too. And she goes in as well. I'm not saying that she's come on here and she's all peaceful. D will go in. But one thing about it, she came to defend her friend. And if had she never came to the platform, then they would have continued the malicious bullying and harassing that they were doing. Gabrielle said, nah, I really like your point of views. I need to get you to 1,000 so you can get paid, child. Thank you, honey. Get me to 1,000, you guys. Yes, while you all are here, if you are not subscribed, what is you doing? What is you doing? Go ahead and subscribe, you guys. Subscribe. All right. Thank you for a new subscriber, Kyra P. Ooh, shout out, honey. Thank you. Thank you. Keesha had me shocked. Like, okay, honey. Exactly, honey. Keesha had me shocked. So it's almost time to get my child from school, y'all. I enjoyed you all today. Cammy said, I subscribe. Okay, thank you. Woo, Cammy Bird, new subscriber. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. Like I said, you guys, I just want this to be a place where we can come talk about it. You don't have to agree with everything I say. You can have a difference of opinion, but as long as you can be respectful, as long as you can, be, just be fair, then I'm good. You can come over here and talk about whatever you want to talk about because this is a safe place. You're not going to get attacked over here. You're not going to get name called over here. We're just here to have a wonderful conversation. Keesha feature 9 vlog tomorrow. Okay, thank you, D, honey. Tell her, yeah, feature your girl, honey, because I like Keesha. I like Keesha. All righty. All right. And Cammy said, I enjoy that some people still stuck. Okay. And Shauna says D has kept 100, and it says D be funny. Yeah. And you guys, sometimes y'all tell Keesha to show 9 the vlog. Yeah, show me, honey, Keesha. If you listening, Keesha, show your girl. But yeah, thank you, you guys. Like I said, I'm just a girl from the good old South, just trying to do a hobby and create some conversation. YouTube is a wonderful platform. A lot of people, it's beautiful how so many Black women and Black men are able to kind of like change their lives off of this platform. So I just wanted to be a part of the conversation. I want to be a part of anything positive that's going to make us elevate. And yeah, I'm here for it. And I know some people are not going to like what I say because I'm speaking out, kind of in favor of Keesha, but it's okay. We can all get together, have a conversation, hug it out. Like I said, some people who don't agree with everything Keesha does and they still think she's dead wrong. And that's okay. I love all of you all. I love the ones of you all who agree with Keesha. I love the ones of you all who don't agree with Keesha. We can all have the conversation. D says, absolutely. I'll keep him along. Unbiased reactors need to be noticed. That is good, D. That is something positive. Yeah, she should definitely take that idea. And I liked the Nana Powers video too. I liked that video as well. So if you are looking for another good video to watch on Keesha, that was a good one. I liked that. And I've done commentary on Nana's mom. Nana Powers, her mom is chopping it up with Roz, and I've actually done commentary on her as well. But I liked her video about Keesha, and I forgot what the lady's name was. I gotta remember, but I will say from this situation, more people have been speaking out with a different perspective. And I like that. I like the conversation that this live started. Because now people are able to speak to both sides instead of speaking to one side. So I like that. All righty. It says that is right and a wrong way to be a reactor. There is a right and wrong way to be a reactor, and not MJ. You are one of the few that does it right, unbiased. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Simply Danielle says yes. I love her unbiased opinion and my point of view. That's what made me subscribe and support D. Yes, honey. Well, y'all, I gotta get in this long carpool line, honey. Yes, honey. So I am going to go ahead and dip out, honey, and go get my baby child. I'll probably be in this carpool line forever. So let me go ahead and put my comfortable shoes on and get me some chips to eat in the car or something, honey. But man, I love you guys. I love the conversation today. I love the love. I love the support. And just keep supporting. Keep supporting. Like I said, we don't have to agree. We don't have to always like each other or like what each other is saying, but let's just all be able to come together in the day and just give each other some love and respect. That's it. That's all. I will see you all in my next video, and do not forget to subscribe. See you all later. This is I'm in the line now, girl. Yeah, so let me give me some chips, some water, because I got to go to this carpool line and sit here for about 20 minutes. So let me get comfortable. But you all have a good day. Thank you, Gabrielle. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you, Carisha P. Thank you, Love Jones. Bye, CC's Life. Bye, Golden. See y'all later.